Hey everybody, Nicholas here with JAMSIONLINE. I just finished resizing this set of 340 Buick connecting rods. So we've got these fully reconditioned and we're getting ready to install our brand new press fit pistons onto these. First things first, I went through and before I honed the block, I actually measured every single piston to make sure that we were going to have our block honed to the correct piston to wall clearance that we wanted. So I got that all done. They all checked out good. Like I said, the connecting rods are done, so I'm getting everything laid out here so that I can make this process go as smooth as possible. If you're doing this at home, you can probably just look all this up on the internet, but just for fun, I got out one of the old repair manuals that we have from clear back when Dad opened. He said these used to be super valuable, but once the internet came around, you just kind of look everything up on the internet. But we can see here the firing order, and basically, I mean, what I'm looking at is the numbering of the cylinders on a 340 Buick block, in case you didn't know. So left bank 1, then right bank 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, moving back. And then we can also look at, just to double check what orientation the connecting rod is supposed to be in. So it shows the oil spurt holes needs to be towards the camshaft. So what that's talking about is right here, there's a little notch in that side and that hole comes out here, and that has to be towards the camshaft when it's installed. This is a number 8, so that's going to be on the right bank farthest back, and when it's installed it needs to be aimed this direction with the oil spurt hole here pointing up towards the camshaft. So what I'm doing is getting all of my pistons and all of my connecting rods laid out so that when I get the pistons mounted on the rods, they're going to be in that correct orientation. Here we've got the setting fixture that we use, and basically what this does is it puts your piston in there so that the piston gets held nice and tight, and then basically it has a stop for the pin that we're going to set to the right dimension, so that once we have the rod mounted on the pin, the rod is going to be centered correctly on the piston pin, and I'll show you that once we're done. I also make sure to lay out all of my pistons in the correct orientation. So I want to have the notch, which is forwards, facing that way, because I'm going to do them all the same way. I'm going to put it in the fixture right here like that, and my rods are going to be laid out. I'm going to put just a dab of oil on the pins. Now, basically what's going to happen is we're going to heat up the small end of the connecting rod. That's going to expand it just enough that it's going to be larger than the pin. And then I'll put it down in, and I'll slide the pin over through the hole. And then as soon as it starts to cool, it's going to shrink and it's going to get that interference fit. That's what the stop here is for, is basically I'm going to have the rod all the way up over against that side of the casting, and when it stops, everything's going to lock in place, and then that should have it so that it's centered on the pin correctly. Alright, so I got the first one on, and I usually would keep going, but I'm just going to stop just to show you guys. So what you saw there is in the torch, it takes about, I do 20 seconds, and that's enough to not get it too hot, but it's hot enough to get the job done. When I was talking about the stop over here in the beginning of the video, you can see or hopefully you can see now that basically the connecting rod is tight on the piston pin, but the pin is allowed to float in the piston. So as it floats from one side to the other, we want to make sure that we're centered well. And by looking at it on the right side when I'm all the way to the right, and on the left side when I'm all the way to the left, I can tell that I did a good job of getting that fixture set correctly. So now, and I got it mounted correctly. This is a number 7, so it's going to be in the left bank, assuming the engine is right side up and forward is that direction. Number 7 will be back here. And we've got our oil spurt hole pointing up towards the camshaft. The tang is towards the bottom, as it should be, as are the numbers. Not that you should trust the numbers, but I'm using that to double check that everything is oriented correctly, which means to me that I've got everything set up here correctly and laid out correctly, so I'm ready to move on to the rest of them. Dad said I should point out that if it's factory numbering, you're fine probably, but on this case, these numbers were stamped by whoever took this engine apart, and it wasn't me, so you can't trust them fully. More often than not, we get ones that come in that somebody else put the number stamps on, and they didn't do it while it was assembled, or you just shouldn't necessarily trust it fully. Alright, so there we are. We've got all of the pistons mounted on the connecting rods. I'm going to go through and I'll double check them, just make sure that they really are centered as well as I was hoping for, and double check that they're all mounted in the correct orientation, just to make sure I didn't lay something out incorrectly before the customer gets them. And that's really the process. So it's a good thing I went through and checked, because for whatever reason I did not get this piston centered correctly. It must have gotten tight before my pin hit the stop on the fixture, like I explained. So now we're stuck with using the press to get it back centered correctly. In the press, we have this jig that basically supports the connecting rod and allows the piston to still be free so that we're not going to damage the piston when we use the press to move the pin in the connecting rod. So again, for us, this is not the best case scenario, but there are people out there who always press their pistons on. They don't ever use the heating method that we use. They simply use the jig, and that's the only way that they install press fit pistons. But in our experience, it's kind of a last resort, and it's to fix mistakes, or we also use the jig to press fit pistons if we're wanting to keep the pistons. See how that is? So that whole time you can see that the piston is free. We're not pressing on the piston at all. It's completely supported just on the connecting rod. And or a lot a bit more.
Yeah.
Probably just as far the other way.
Yeah, gotta give it one little pop back.
Frick. So now we've got it back centered the way it's supposed to be, and there's no damage to the piston, which is ideal. A lot of people don't have a setup like this if you're trying to do this at home. So that's kind of why we recommend leave it to the professionals if you can. Otherwise, if you're doing it at home and you're doing the heating method, you just got to make sure everything's set up right and make sure you're quick, because the chances of you being able to fix it without a jig like this in a press when you're done, if you screw it up, is probably not very good. So one of the questions I always get is, who uses a press fit pin nowadays? Everything is full floating. Well, that may be the case in performance, but not everything is high performance and not everything is new. 340 Buick, what is it, Dad? 66 and 6. Yeah, 1966 and 1967 only. Not a very common engine, at least in our area. The paper that's in the piston box that we ordered says June 2003, so that'll let you know how long those sat on the shelf. So something like this, unless you're going to be building it and getting custom pistons, custom connecting rods, you're really not going to go to the trouble to do anything other than press fit pins like it had from the factory, because it's just not necessary. There's no reason to. But, you know, definitely for some of your high performance stuff and a lot of your newer engines, you're going to see a full floating pin, which means the connecting rod has a bushing in it, and you're going to have clips on the piston to retain the pin in the piston, as opposed to this one, it's purely retained by the press fit on the connecting rod. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.